Good morning. Our story this morning is about a very special young lady, a lady that lived long ago in the little town of Nazareth. Her name was Mary. Mary was helping her parents until she was going to get married, as girls did in those days. But she was getting pretty excited because she was engaged, or betrothed it was called in those days, to a very nice man named Joseph. And so Mary was happily working one day when suddenly an angel appeared. Now that's kind of scary, or maybe exciting, maybe a bit of both. And the angel said to her that she had been chosen to be the mother of a very special baby who would be named Jesus. He was to come from God to save the world and to help everyone to be happy and loving. Mary explained this to Joseph, and at first he was a bit confused, but he had a dream, and in the dream an angel told him that that was fine. He should look after Mary, and when the baby came, should look after the baby. And so they started to collect things that they would need for the baby: a warm blanket, little soft cloths to act as diapers, because there were no Velcro diapers in those days. And as they were getting pretty close to the baby being born, a soldier rode into the village and said that the Roman law, the people who had the Roman law in that country, they were in charge, said they wanted everybody to go to the town where their parents were from. And Joseph's family were from Bethlehem. And so they would have to start out and go to Bethlehem. And Mary was worried because it was so close to the time of the baby coming. And in order to go, they had to put together supplies. They had to have a donkey because it was too far for Mary to walk, and blankets, and a pack of food, things that wouldn't spoil, things like figs and dates, and some little loaves, maybe a cooked fish, and things like that. And they gathered all the things together and started out. Now it was a long, long way. It took many days, and they had to stop a lot to rest, because riding a donkey when you're expecting a baby is not easy, I would imagine. And so when they got to Bethlehem, it was getting dark, and there was no place to stay because all the other people who got there earlier had all the rooms. But a kind innkeeper said, though he didn't have any rooms, he would let them use his stable. Now I'm going to show you a picture of the trip to Bethlehem, which took many days. You can see their supplies and their blankets and so on. And then the stable. And in that stable, that night, something very special happened. Just what the angel had said was going to happen. Mary gave birth to a baby, and it was baby Jesus. And because they weren't able to bring a crib along, certainly couldn't get that on a donkey, they used a manger, or a feeding box, they're sometimes called, a place where they would put hay and straw for the cows and the sheep and so on to eat. And you can see several animals in the picture, and the stable would have been their home. And in that very special night, baby Jesus was born. His mother wrapped him in soft blankets and laid him in the manger. And that was the first Christmas. And when Mary looked down at her little baby boy, her heart was filled with joy, and she knew that this was indeed a very special baby.